how can we take this old traditions and bring it in with the new and the social media? Because we said this before too, like social media is supposed to bring it together, but it's also very cold and lonely sometimes.
And most people want to be part of something. We just make room at the table for people. If you're just a regular guy or a regular gal and when you appreciate the things of nature, you're welcome at the table because we all have a part of a story to share. Hello, hunting family. Welcome to Tracks and Tackle, the podcast where we explore the wonders of the wilderness and the thrill of the hunt, along with the joys of fishing. I'm your host, the Arrow Eagle, and I'm joined by my co-host today, the Hollywood Horse. Today, we want to take an opportunity to introduce ourselves to you and share our passion for the great outdoors. So without further ado, let's dive in.
Thanks, Air Eagle. I am so thrilled to be part of this exciting journey with you and our new hunting family, and just share our love for nature and the outdoors, and to just share that with those around us. So this new platform gives us a wider selection of how we get it out there.
What's going on, guys? That was episode 1.
Whoa, what's up?
Throwback.
That sounded like an NPR episode, didn't it?
It's like $15 mic. My nephew Brady and I were not knowing what we were doing. Here we are. We're like three years later. Same concept, same mentality, whole different family on the other side of the mic. Guys, this is episode 100. Tonight we're going to be telling the real story, where it started, how Chris and Josh and everybody hopped in and took this backyard idea into something that we're not shutting up about. So grab yourself a cold one. Tune in. We're going to be talking about 100 episodes of Tracks and Tackle. And really, this one's dedicated to all of you guys. So how are you doing, Josh?
Yeah, I'm great. I'm so great. How are you guys?
Glad to have you with us tonight, man. This is a pretty cool one Chris and I've been talking about for a while. And Chris, you're a little bit under the weather, man. But you made it.
I'm here. We've had the creeping crud at my house and starting to go up, so
I think that's going around, man. I think it's going around. But right on, guys. Well, glad you guys are with us. We're trying to actually doing a new software tonight too. So we're trying a lot of new things, and 100 episodes. You guys, anybody who's been following us for a while, you know that I've said this in the past, but they say you don't get your sea legs until you get to 100 episodes, and so this is kind of a big one, and we want to hang out tonight. We're gonna go down memory lane. We're gonna talk about how this thing started. What do you think of that first clip, man? How corny was that, man?
I don't want to say it was corny. I mean, I'm of the opinion that as long as you're doing something, that's cool. Like, it's to do it, but that definitely reminded me of those old Josh, remember SNL back in the day with sweaty balls?
Oh yeah, when there was
Yeah.
like sit and do like the little radio shows.
Yeah.
That was us. I think we when we started, I just had like a little lapel mic, so I was just holding the little lapel and I was recording. I don't know if it was recording on a cell phone or what I was recording on, but it was just audio.
That's funny. I remember the first time that we were on podcasts where we went up to Mike's a couple times to tell stories, Josh, and we were like, okay, now we're going to tell a funny story about this time we were duck hunting. You don't find your rhythm, like you said, till you do it for a while, right?
Yeah, it's just like anything, just like any of our videos and stuff like that. And I go back and I watch, well, actually the first couple of hunting videos that we made for the other YouTube channel, for the Mentor Outdoors channel, um, they're not even on YouTube because they were that bad. So we should actually sit down sometime and like watch some of them old ones. I've said this before
Yeah.
and do like a review,
Mystery
like
Science Theater for him.
live reaction video.
Heck yeah.
Right on. Right on. So you guys are doing good, man. Appreciate you guys being here, and we're gonna celebrate tonight.
Yeah.
We're gonna tell some stories and get into it, right?
Yeah. Ron, let's take it off, dude. Tell us how it started. Tell us your journey, dude.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I'm gonna go down memory lane here a little bit, and first of all, if you guys are listening or watching this online, we appreciate you. We ask you to subscribe to the page. Give us a like, follow, drop comments, like all the above. We're super pumped about having you guys follow us, and we want to talk about relevant stuff. We're just normal guys, blue collar guys. I was sitting at my swimming pool. I think it was like June of 2023, and it was just a summer night. I got a Labrador Collie mix, and so she loves to swim, and so I'm just like down at my pool, the dog and me, and she's in the water, and I'm sitting there at the patio table, and I'm thinking about our logbook. We've talked about our journal that we keep at our cabin. I was thinking, how do we tell these stories? Because we have stories,
Mhm.
we write them down, but how do we tell these and share them for a bigger audience? And I thought, well, everybody's got a podcast, so why don't I just start podcasting? And it took me maybe a month or so, I'd say, well, as I researched everything. What do you do when you get into something that you've never done before? Now, like we YouTube it.
Mhm.
So like I watch 100 YouTube videos on podcasting, what gear I need, how to get started, what's the right setup. Studied that out a little bit, and then we got rolling in July of 2023. That was a segment or a snippet from that first show. And, I got my nephew, Brady, in with me, and, we use the call names, Arrow Eagle and Hollywood Horse, and everybody in our family's got a nickname, and, there's stories with that too, but, it it's like, I'm sure your family's like this, guys. If you like somebody, like somebody new comes into the hunting camp or whatever, like, you're gonna pick on them, 'em, you're gonna rib them, 'em, you're gonna give them a hard time.
We would
They
never
get a
do that.
nickname. Yeah, not it's foreign concept, right? So, like, if you don't like
Yeah.
them, it's like, why is nobody picking on me? So, everybody's got a nickname, and, so we just, like, we rolled out with that, and, I still reference that name once in a while because it's a lot of fun, but, we started by just telling those family stories. I did a couple solo episodes, and, as we went into fall, there was a that year in 2023, Brady and I took a lot of trips up to our hunting camp, like more than normal. Almost every weekend we were up there in archery season. And so, we're recording while we're riding up down the turnpike, going out into Western PA. I remember one time we were in the truck. We had the computer and the console between us. We each had a microphone. Um, Little lapel mic, and it's a rainstorm. Like, it's literally torrential downpour raining on us, but we're just trying to find time in our schedules to make the next episode. And so, that was really horrible audio. Like, if we went back, I should probably delete the episode because it sounded like we were in a fishbowl. But the quality of the mics, the rainstorms, stuff like that, by I was going back this week and I was looking at who were our guests early on, and I wanna say by, like, episode 13, 11 through 13 is when we brought on our first guest that wasn't a family member, and it's just a buddy, somebody I met at a picnic who has a passion for waterfowl. He was a goose caller, duck caller competition guy, and that's something that I know you guys have an appreciation and a value for. But I wanted to learn more about it, so I brought him on and we sat on my front porch and just talked. and he got here at my place at like 6 o'clock in the afternoon. And, it was like 9 o'clock. The sun was going down. It's summertime. You can hear the crickets
Oh yeah.
rolling off in the background and stuff. But he was just sharing stories about growing up, hunting waterfowl, learning how to call geese, how to call ducks and stuff like that. And we did 3 episodes talking waterfowl. And I think it was at that time that I recognized, this is probably something more than just for me and my family to sit and talk around the table. There's a lot that there's a big group of people out there that are into this sort of stuff. You know, um, in that first winter, we talked about lessons learned, and then after, like I said, we hunted a lot that first year, and so we were talking about archery, we're giving our updates, talking about the rut, all the stuff that a normal outdoorsy content podcast would cover. But after hunting season, it was like, okay, now what do we do?
Yeah.
Right? What's next? And, so I remember sitting downstairs doing Euro mounts, teaching ourselves how to tan the hide of a deer. We were just like getting into stuff, going to the sportsman show in February. We have the big sportsman show in Harrisburg and recapping what that looked like. But I want to say by spring the following year after we started, so spring of 24, we really started hitting our flow with some guests that are regulars that came in. That's when my cousin Buck, who's been on the show like numerous times, shout out to my brother from another mother. He came and he hung out all day long, and he actually did back to back episodes with us in my brother's basement. And Chris, that was the first time that you came on. I think was probably
Yeah.
March, late March 24. Um, Justin Barrick's another guy that's been on several times. He came on that spring in April, and other guys that are part of the collaborative, like Ted with Off the Hook Outdoors. He came on for the first time April or May. So as we went into the summer months, we started to recycle some of you guys that came on, had a good time. We hit it off. Chris, you came back. Justin returned. And we started doing some collaborative shows with other podcasts, and so we're like a year into it, and I was really beginning to recognize that there is a large body of people out here that want to talk hunting, want to talk fishing, and we're starting to build like friendships online, and that's what we talk about all the time. It's the people that we're doing this with. So um, by fall, I think it was fall of 24, Chris, when you came on full time to step in and partner with us for the podcast as a co-host. And once you came in, you've been like a lifeline for me. I say I don't say it enough, but I can put a structure together and figure out what we're going to talk about. And like I said before we start recording, like legend in your own mind, right? So I can get up here and talk on the microphone, but I need help, and you've been a great help at, like, booking guests. We came together and got a strategic vision for what we wanted 2024, 2025 to be, and we started building out that network that we've got. So, like, I wanna just segue from that because 'cause I've been talking for a little bit here and talk about that network, right? Because we had once we started getting some of these regional guests coming on the show, yourselves included, and some of your contacts. Yeah, man. I mean, it changed things, and we started to build an online community. So, let me toss the mic to one of you guys. Chris, I'll start with you because you came on, and appreciate you locking shields with me
Mhm.
as we sort of going into battle together with this. But, what was it like, man? I mean, why don't you tell the story about how we met and how you got started, and what was it about, my charisma?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
You sh
What was it about, when we met that you're like, "Hey, man, I could hang out with this cat?"
Yeah, I met this mystery guy online, right? No, we were joking about that before we came on. No, I met, there was an app, it's still around, I don't use it too much. There's an app called Camo Space. I think like Ted from Off the Hook and a bunch of guys are on it. basically just a hunting version of like a Facebook, Instagram. It's just for that.
Yeah.
No censoring on it, right? And it was just a cool thing on there. And I saw that you had a post on there. I noticed that you were local and you were looking for guests, and we kind of went from there for to kind of build that bridge. And I reached out to you to come on, and we set up some stuff. And then I think I came on, and then we had a phone call, and I realized like we grew up very similar. We're like the same
Yeah. Yeah.
age.
Background.
I mean,
Yeah.
really, we're less than an hour apart from each other. That's not far. And you grew up closer to me, where I'm live.
Yeah, for sure. Like my stomping grounds growing up is closer to like where your folks live now.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's all familiar territory.
So then, I came on the show, and Josh and I had been on podcasts before, like with our friend Mike from Mountain and Marsh, and I'd been on Shane's from the Upper Bay and stuff, telling stories. But it was cool to be on another local one that, again, a guy that grew up like us, deer hunting. That was the thing with the family. I mean,
Right.
that was cool. And then we
And
just,
you guys are big on traditions, right? I mean,
yeah,
that's what you're all about.
yeah, just hanging out. And your family dynamic is close to what ours is, with different age groups and nephews and cousins and brothers and everybody kind of hanging out. You're all really brothers, no matter if you're actual cousins or, so it was just cool, man. And we just hit it off and kind of aligned with the vision that Lee and I had for 3B of a club, and just hanging out, no egos, and just, you guys hear us say it all the time, just having fun, deer
Yeah.
camp, that's what we wanted, man. And so that was cool. And I was like, Josh, check this out, dude. Come on with us, dude. Come hang out with us. And now you got this hairy hillbilly with us all the time too now. So
Yeah, Josh, why don't you tell us your experience, man? Because I mean, certainly you probably you've got it. I think the first time I met you is when you all invited me to um, the 3B, potluck dinner that you guys did at the church, at your dad's
oh, I
place,
forgot.
and
Yeah, you did come down to that. You and Brady both came
that's the
down to that.
first
Yeah.
that's the first time I met Chris in person, you know, and I got to meet Josh and a bunch of the other guys. So, but then, eventually we roped you into hanging out with us, Josh. So like, what's your experience, man? What was the experience, from your perspective?
Listen, it's been a crazy, what, 8 months now that I've been, talking to you guys and coming on here. Chris asked me to come on back during the summertime to do like
Mhm.
a fishing episode. You guys wanted to, I think you were trying to just,
Right.
find some new content. And I love fishing. I'm a big cat fisherman. I love to hit the rockfish and the perch out on the bay. And so the first time I came on and I was talking about cat fishing. And, from there, I mean, like Chris said, that was the first time that I had ever been on with you guys. I had talked to you once prior, and, I felt right at home. You guys made me feel right at home. I mean, me and Chris have stories for days and days and days. But, to come online and to tell some of these stories and some of the fun experiences that I've had, and then to almost, I mean, you've been like a mentor to me through some of this stuff. And, I do a little bit of content creating there, and, I'm in a collaborative with all these guys. And I mean, just what a cool network to be a part of. And I mean, it's kind of cool. I mean, we talk to each other every day. These guys,
Yeah.
we're all over the place, from here to Arkansas, upstate PA, those guys from Off the Hook. And then those guys, we got the Keystone Hunters that are just right up the road from us. We don't hang out all the time, but like we're talking every day, sending pictures of deer and geese and stuff. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's like a hunt camp for the modern age.
Yeah. Well, it's cool. Like, when everybody came on, something I was kind of hitting that, but couldn't find the right words for a second. But like, without you, you did grow up near us, and you grew up similar to us, backgrounds and stuff. So all of our stories from you or for us, we resonate with each other. There's like, okay, I knew what you're talking about. Oh, that's cool. I know that
Yep.
area. I know what the weather is. I know exactly what your dad meant, when he said this. Or I know what, you know. So it's just cool. And then to have Josh come in, and then to he said, "Do you want to start talking about the collaborative now? Or you want to wait till we're kind
Well,
of
no, I mean, a couple of things. I didn't want to interrupt Josh when he was going, but Josh, before we like really talk about the collaborative and sort of how we made the turn and we started to build out the online community, and certainly we appreciate everybody that wants to be part of that and is part of that. Um, but yeah, Josh, Chris was telling me about his brother. He's like, man, my brother, Chris is always like posting pictures, right? Pictures of the family, pictures of his hunting, pictures of him fishing, pictures of, ducks and geese and whatever. He's documenting it all. And so like that's me. I love like I'm a social media, I'm putting stuff out, Hey, check out what I cooked tonight. He's like, I got this brother that never takes pictures. He kills big deer. He's just like he loves to hunt archery. He's a killer, but um, I'll ask him, like, "Send me a picture." He's like, "Oh, I forgot to take a picture of that buck that I just took." So I'm thinking, like, "What kind of guy is this?"
Yeah.
He's just, like, certainly old school is what I thought. Like, he's got this brother that's an old school guy who just loves to hunt. And so that was my first impression of you before I got to meet you. And now, like, man, you're it, man. I was just telling, Josh over this week, I don't know if it was today or earlier this week, but I'm like, "Your content's good. The show's better with you. Like, this show's better with you than without you." Because
Right
Josh
on.
is always like he's super humble. He's like, "Well,
Yeah,
I'll
Josh is
come on if you guys."
real humble.
Well, look, from my perspective, I didn't grow up with him. But he's like, "If you guys need me on the show, I'll come on and co-host, but if you don't, that's cool too." And, I was just telling him, like, "Show's better with you than without you, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
come get your butt in here and get on." So, yeah,
thanks.
that's what you need, though. We
Appreciate
all
that.
need that somebody to swell our head a little bit. But anyway, so that was it, man. I appreciate it, and I've seen you go from this guy I heard about that never posts to a guy that's got his own channel and is, make you got all these ideas and
Yeah,
you're, putting your own stuff out and it's actually fun to watch. So
well, I appreciate
anyway,
that.
yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So let's Chris, let's talk about the collaborative,
Okay.
because we had this strategic plan of, like you said, we're local to one another and we know there's a bunch of other guys that are semi-local, regional here. And 3B Outdoors, which is, who you represent. You want that hunt club feeling.
Yeah,
That's kinda who you guys are. Like, how do we build the online community?
right.
And personally, like, Mentor Outdoors, which is, how I got started, like, we have that. Like, maybe not online, but we have the family camp, and we go and we spend the weekend at the cabin together, and, so we tried to figure out, like, how do we strategically start inviting local or regional-ish people onto the show?
Right.
And that's how it started. So I'll let you take it from there, man, because you really, like we talked about this for a
Yeah.
while, and it's finally like, we gotta do it.
Yeah, we had this idea, and, to backtrack even more, Josh will tell you, like, what's cool about you, Ron, is that you guys not just have the deer camp, but you guys have the whole thing. So you guys go up there and you hunt together, and then you're gonna do a butcher shop day, and then you're gonna do all that stuff together, and you're gonna put cameras up together, and you're checking stuff, and you're chopping firewood. I mean, you got the whole thing. We grew up, Josh and I, on a family farm, and we worked down there and did stuff, but when it was time to deer hunt, it was like, "You're gonna sit here. You are
Yeah.
not getting down." I don't care if you're 30 years old. You're not getting down if you're cold till dark, and it was loving and fun. And I'm making fun of it a little bit, but it didn't have like this camp thing that we always wanted, and it's a very Pennsylvania thing, growing up in Maryland. It's a very northern and Midwestern thing. Hunt camps that's just what it is. Um,
Right.
so that's something that we always wanted, man. And, again, when Lee and I started 3B, we were trying to get that with the ducks or with whatever. And then we met you and we started building this up and you're meeting people. And I'm like, okay, a lot of these other guys, again, we're here. We're not that far from each other. This is cool, man. And start meeting people. So I started bouncing the idea off. Let's build this network. Let's copy Meat Eater. Let's do,
Yeah, right.
the Disney world of like local hunting. You're a fishing guy. You're this guy. Let's bring everybody together. And man, it just took off into this really cool thing, like Josh said, and now we text each other. These guys all over the country are texting each other pictures of their kids and their and their deer, and we're pumped for each other, and
Trail cam
yeah,
pics,
trail cam pics or, you know, first duck pics, first deer pics, or I mean, everybody, people that have never met Peyton were so pumped to see Peyton shoot her first deer in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Like that's
I
cool,
mean,
man.
not just Arkansas, but like I'm gonna throw a little shout out to the Average Joe's guys. I mean,
Average Joe, those
all three
dudes.
of them, all three of those guys, Johnny, Chris, and Mike, they all three got online and was like, "Oh, Peyton, way to go! That's awesome!" And I'm like,
Yeah,
"These guys, I've talked to these guys once. Johnny, I've
yeah,
talked to twice.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
and they're like super pumped for my daughter. And like, I mean, I don't know. It's been a cool year because of stuff like that, because of my kids and Chris's kids and Lee's kids. And, we've been watching videos of Shane Muller taking his kids out and Cody taking his kids out. Like it's so cool. Like I didn't know any of these guys 6 months ago, 8 months ago. And
yeah.
now
Right.
we're
Now
talking
you're
every
texting
day.
them. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's just that's what it's about. It's just cool. It's just this cool. How can we take this old traditions and bring it in with the new and the social media, bring it together, share pictures, share these traditions, get pumped for each other. And because we said this before too, like social media is supposed to bring it together, but it's also very cold and lonely sometimes.
Well, everybody wants to promote themselves, I mean, that's the fact, right? And I think the thing that's unique about us is like, we're not trying to promote ourselves. We're trying to promote you.
Yeah,
Like if you come in to our circle, we say it all the time, like it's your tag, hunt your hunt the way you want to do it. Like no, there's no shaming for like we had an episode, I guess last week, and we were all talking about all the does we slayed. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like we were talking about we're not professional big game hunters. We're just like regular guys. And so like if you want to come in and talk about whatever it is that you're passionate about, we're going to lift your brand up and we're going to promote your brand. And there's no gatekeeping here. And I ought to recycle that first promo video that I did when we launched the
yeah, it's
the
cool.
collaborative. I ought to put that back out there because that's one of the things we said. Like, look, no gatekeeping. Like if you want to be, and most people want to be part of something,
Mhm.
So we just make room at the table for people. And if you're just a regular guy or a regular gal, and you appreciate the things in nature that we appreciate, you're welcome at the table because we all have a part of a story to share.
Well, it's that old saying. It really is. All tides, make all the boats
Yeah,
rise. I mean, that's what we're
that's
trying to do. It's just this cool thing, and most everybody's on board with it that we've kind of brought on with us that laughs and jokes and just has a good time. And for me personally, and I've said this 1,000 times, I don't sell anything. We have that cool little page where people want a hat or something. Go get it from the web
yeah,
page you
you can
set
go
up.
get it.
But we're not pushing products, and it's just really really cool that I have seen my interactions and my stuff online go from 4 or 5,000 interactions a month to I'm getting 20,000 a post now. I'm getting this, and this, and it's from people sharing. It's from people shagging this video. Cody shares it. Shane shares it. The Final Stand guys
Yeah.
share it. Johnny. It was just these guys are just the cool. They really are. Like I've never met any of those guys outside of their podcast that I was on one time, but like everybody on the Average Joe's podcast, I'm friends with on Facebook. They like and share all my posts. They're they just are fun guys. And it's like that's who
And
you
that's
wanna
the
be
whole
around, right?
idea behind this,
Yeah,
right? The
right.
whole idea was if you're gonna put something out, why don't you have a group of buddies that are gonna lift you up,
Yeah,
and it helps with visibility for sure, but it's just I don't know. I like celebrating,
yeah,
you have a good day fishing,
yeah,
I'm all about it.
yeah.
A good day for you is a good day for all of
Well, we
us.
said it last week on
Yes,
the
sir.
deer hunt episode, but, you know, I texted you when I shot that doe, got you pumped up. Then you got me pumped up when you said, "I just got one," and
It warmed me up, man. I was cold,
yeah,
right? But I saw your picture, or you texted me, and I was like, "Man, this like, all right, it's go to like, they're moving, they're on their
yeah.
feet."
It just that visual fire, right? That spiritually
It's a
warms
mental
you
bump,
up, right? Yeah. So,
right? No doubt, no doubt. Well, yeah, I mean, you guys have talked about, I mean, we've name dropped a little bit of, a lot of the folks that are part of the group with us and stuff. And certainly there are people that haven't been mentioned that are involved. Some people are more involved than others,
Mhm.
as far as vocally. But I know that we got other guys that feel very connected to the group that are more like wallflowers, and they're watching those conversations in the text group or the chat or online, but they're not gonna, come out and hop into the center of the conversation, and, that matters too,
Yeah.
everybody, sort of brings something to the table, like I said, but, um, I did a quick look at some quick numbers, right? Because I don't like to follow stats, but I am a bit of an analytical guy and stuff. And so at 100 episodes, milestone, I wanted to look. And so I was thinking about the collaborative, and I think we have 6 states represented, probably more because I think the guys from Average Joe's are in a couple of different
Yeah,
states,
they're in 3 different
right?
states, yeah.
So like
Yeah, they're in
we're
they're
as
in 3 different
far.
states themselves.
So I think Illinois is the furthest west. I think New York State's the furthest north, and we mentioned Arkansas is the furthest south. So what we need, if you guys are watching this online, everybody's listening, um, we need some representation down in the southeast, because, um, you know, we got one of our buddies who's supposed to be in the group. He's supposed to be one with us tonight, but he's a Central Time Zone guy, and he got his time zones mixed up. So maybe he'll pop in, but he'll hear us talking about him. But we need some Southeast folks to join the collab
Mhm.
effort, because that's kind of the next regional place where I think strategically we want to go in 2026. We'll see. We've got ideas and stuff, but at the end of the day, we're just riding this wave. If you go back to that first clip, we didn't know what we're doing. We still don't know what we're doing, but we're having fun doing
Yeah,
it,
that's right.
and we're having. So anyway, 6 or 7, 8, somewhere around there, states represented in the collaborative, but we host the podcast. The podcast itself, the podcast audio version, is hosted through Buzzsprout, and they give me some tools to look at the stats. And we've had downloads on every continent except for Antarctica, which you would think like that's a little bit weird. Now, obviously, the most are in the US, but 6 continents have we've touched, through the power of broadcasting, which is
That's crazy.
crazy, right?
Yeah.
How do so, and like Chris said, we're not trying to sell anything or get famous or anything like that, but we're just having fun telling our stories, and we want to bring other people along to be part of it with us. So, ton of gratitude. And what I want to do is, we had a couple of folks. Let me see if I can figure out this studio. We had a couple of folks send some messages, some like congratulation messages. And so I just want to run this little clip here.
It all started in a tiny garage with a microphone, a dream, and a lot of nervous laughter. Fast forward a few months, and we're out in the wild and sharing stories under the open sky. Back in the studio, we realized our little podcast had grown into a community of adventurers. And now, here we are, 100 episodes later, celebrating a journey we never thought possible.
What's up, everybody? It's Josh from 3B Outdoors, but today I'm rocking the TTC, baby. That's right, it's Tracks and Tackle Collaborative. Just want to say congratulations to Ron and Chris for, 100 episodes. What an accomplishment that is. Can't believe it. So proud to be a part of it. Honored deeply. Congratulations again, guys. Love you both.
It's Brady from Mentor Outdoors. Congrats, Tracks and Tackle. 100 podcast. It's quite the accomplishment. Keep up the good work. Let's go.
What's going on, everybody? Lee with 3B Outdoors. I just wanted to hop on and say happy 100th episode to the Tracks and Tackle podcast. I'm proud to be part of the collaborative. We've shared a lot of stories and we've had a lot of laughs along the way. Let's see what the next 100 episodes bring. And as always, get outdoors.
What's up, guys? Cody here from Triple B Outdoors. We want to say congratulations on y'all's 100th episode. It's been an honor to be on a couple of episodes so far, and I look forward to the next 100. Y'all keep on keeping on. Catch y'all on the next one.
Good Friday afternoon, everybody. Tracks and Tackle Collaborative 3B Outdoors. Just want to say congratulations on your 100th episode. Out here in the deer woods now. Everybody have a great day.
So we definitely appreciate it. There's a couple of the faces of the guys that we were calling out, and I don't know. We don't we don't sound our own horn too often, but this is an episode we've been looking forward to. We're getting on towards the end of the year, and we'll probably do like a year-end recap episode as we get in here the next couple of weeks, and then we'll probably take a week or so off as we get into the holidays. But as we get into next year, Chris, what do we got in store?
Man, I got some cool guests coming on. Josh, I got some duck hunters who are gonna come on. It's I got some from up north and I got some from out west. I actually got some guys from Oklahoma and Texas and Louisiana that Cody turned me on to that want to come on. And kind of just keep on, man. Got some new segments that we want to do. We're gonna have to get into some Josh, this is up your alley, man. Some old school like woods wisdom tips, like old tips that we've talked about, like, stuff like that. We'll get into that as we do it, but just dive into that and, really start bringing these people back together and see where the road takes us, man. Another 100 more. Let's get it.
Appreciate it, man. Josh, what are you looking forward to as we roll into the next 100?
Well, just playing off this momentum, uh, it's easy once the ball gets rolling. Like you were saying earlier, I have so many ideas for things that I want to do through this. So, different content, different kinds of media. I kind of want to revamp the whole cookbook thing, and I want to talk to you more about that, later. But, I'm excited to just see how this thing is going to continue to grow. I'm excited for new faces, and new stories to come in. That's what we do. We like to build people up. So I love hearing people's stories. So I'm excited. I'm excited for all that. And, as we continue to do this more and more, you guys know, just us three with Lee and Cody and all them, we got a pretty good groove going when we get on here together. So like that chemistry is just going to continue to build. And, I'm excited about it.
Love it, man. Love it. Well, I'm super pumped about. Hey, I'm watching the chat here, and my guy Brent is on here. Appreciate you, Brent, for following us. Brent, he gave me hell the other week because we recorded on a Monday, and he didn't know it because we usually record on Tuesdays. And he said, "Hey, man, I was sitting around. I could have been on there chiming in." One of our long-standing fans and followers, I would say. I don't know if he's a fan or not, but he sticks around. And what's up, Ted from Off the Hook, brother? Appreciate you stopping in. Check out his channel on YouTube. He's a great guy, Western PA guy. And yeah, man, I love the interaction. So even shifting from that first clip that we played earlier, where really didn't have a script, really didn't have a plan, just gonna introduce myself and tell stories, to here we are, we we're live streaming and we're talking to the gang and we're interacting with guys that, like Josh, you said, we have chemistry within ourselves, but there are also people that are interacting with us that aren't on the show, but they're actually interacting. So Ted, you need to just invite us to come on your show. Ted says he would have stopped in and done a panel. Ted, we're waiting for the invite, brother. Dude's a deer killer, and he's got a nice setup, and he's another one. We love watching him, get his boy set up to be successful. We're talking about seeing kids get well and get done and stuff. So but anyway, my point is, I love the interaction, meeting new people, meeting new faces, hearing stories and different perspectives. But it's like you said earlier, Chris, we all relate.
Yeah.
So when you say, "Hey, I went through this, I know exactly what you're talking about. All right. My dad said this, whenever I was 12. Well, yeah, I got that talk too, that sort of thing. So, appreciate you guys. And not doing a long episode tonight, but, like I said, we don't blow our own horn too often, but we wanted to celebrate. I really want to toast to this group. You guys, I couldn't have gotten here on my own. And you guys have come alongside, partnering with us and stuff. Super, super appreciative. Thank you guys so much for all you do. You might not think you're doing anything, but the way to be successful is to continue moving on, you know. And we're just going to continue to show up, weekly or bi-weekly, and put out a show.
Yeah.
And so anybody that wants to come along for that ride, you guys are welcome to come along and be part of it. I can't say thank you enough.
Yeah.
So
Well, we appreciate
any
you.
final
We appreciate
yeah,
you there, Capitan.
final thoughts?
That's what I was saying. I said it earlier, and I've said it a few other times. I call him Ron Mentor more than Ron Menser. So
Well, I want to, just like you said, we want to build one another up,
Yeah.
So
Well, it's nice
Ted
to.
says,
I've said this a couple.
I'm
Go ahead, Ron.
no, 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 no. I'm on the chat here as we're going through. He's not seeing the big deer, and he's seen plenty of big deer compared to the deer I've seen this year.
yeah, seriously.
It's just fun, man. Ron, you're the captain of this, and we appreciate you. And it's fun for me that has the other brands. They're as creative as I enjoy being with you, but that I don't have to have everything. It's not all on me. Does that make sense? Like we can all work together.
Totally.
So that's fun to build that up and to bring everybody in, and so onward and upward, man. Hopefully, we'll have some videos of these kids. We got a couple kids eating their first duck here soon, right, Josh? So that's the next.
I hope.
Come on.
I hope so. Comes in 16th in Maryland, so we're ready to go.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Love it. Love it, guys. Well, look, can't say it enough. Appreciate you. Love you both. And wouldn't want to do it. Wouldn't want to do it on my own. So here's to the next 100 episodes. I'm going to see if I can figure out this format here and see if we can play an outro. But that's it for us tonight, guys. Remember, everybody, get outdoors. Follow, like, subscribe, drop a comment. We appreciate all of you guys out there that do follow the show. Let's get after it, and we'll get after another 100 after this.
Heck yeah, let's do it. Do it.
See ya.